Do you ever just look up from your daily and look around and think something is not quite right here? Um, in Australia, we've got great society, natural beauty, but there's something fundamentally wrong, and it's about money. Um, so I've decided to have a look into gas. I didn't understand it, the relative to how it all fits in. So I've done a bit of research on gas. Look, I'm nobody west of the mountains, New South Wales. So here we go. We as a country export more gas than anybody else on the planet, except for Qatar. Except for what? So we're the second richest country in gas, and we export it. Queensland, WA. As a country, we receive about, for every dollar of gas, we receive about 10 cents to the public, back to Aussie families. Look, I'll get into this a bit more, but we all know gas is expensive and it's gone up. But for a shower or to heat the house for a day by gas in Australia, let's say it costs $10. We sell our gas overseas. The people overseas, Asia, who buy our gas, it costs them half as much to heat their home, have a shower, whatever. Half as much. We're paying double. Now, in and of itself, good luck to them. Yeah, but that's not the big thing here. The big thing is the tax revenue that we get. Now, we know that gas companies dodge tax. They don't pay much tax. But basically, they are taking us for a ride, and they've taken us for a ride for a long time now. And who's to blame? We'll get into later. But let's compare ourselves with Norway. Norway, like a gold standard, okay? So if every dollar that Norway sell in oil, if they produce a dollar's worth of oil, the country of Norway, the families of Norway, get back about 70 cents in that dollar. 30 cents goes to the companies, profit, whatever, but 70 cents comes back to Norway. Australia, 10 cents in the dollar. Now, I'm not saying let's go bang, let's try and get 70 cents on the dollar. That's a lot. Like, good on Norway. Well done. Let's just assume for a minute, though, we can change it and get, say, 50 cents in the dollar, which is reasonable. Okay, if we suggested this to the gas companies, they're going to start crying. We can't do this. Sovereign risk, contracts, blah, blah, blah. Here's the thing. If we said to them, no, we are going to tear up the contracts and you need to now pay 50 cents in the dollar in tax. If they turn around and say, well, we're not going to do that, then we as a country, if we said, okay, not a problem, the gas will be sitting there and other companies will come in and buy it and sell it because they're going to make a fortune selling the gas despite paying 50 cents on the dollar to us. That's how much profit they make. Last year, in 2024, Woodside, so there's four main companies. Woodside, which is mostly Australian owned, Impex, Chevron, Shell, big companies. Last year, 2024, Chevron and Woodside both made over 20 billion, with a B, in profit, with a per. $20 billion in profit last year alone, both those companies. So they're not going to walk away from that. They're going to kick and scream and pretend like the sky's going to fall in, like they did when Rudd tried to bring in the resource rent tax, the ads on telly, the attack ads, all that. But it's a load of BS. Now, let's just go down that path. If we stop selling gas through these companies, the companies will say, well, hang on, we'll get Qatar. Qatar will sell their gas to our customers. So our customers are China, India, China, Korea, and Japan. Japan and Korea take about the same, and China take probably twice as much. So it's mostly China, and then Korea and Japan. Qatar are not going to come in and sell their gas to China, Japan, Korea, because they don't have enough capacity. All the gas that they extract gets sold into Europe. And it's a lot. They physically don't have enough the capacity to put the gas on ships and send out to China and Japan, etc. It's not going to happen. So Chevron, Woodside, etc. Would have to cop it because their markets need it, their customers need it. I hope that makes sense. So we as a country can go to them, tear the contracts up. We want 50 cents on the dollar tax. Now, and I reckon that would happen. Anyway, the other thing is, what is the other thing? I had some notes. Oh, how much gas do we have? Well, if we keep extracting and shipping it off at the rate we're going now, the estimate, so let's bear in mind that iron ore, we've sold iron ore cheap to the world since the 1950s. Cheap. You know, it's fueled the rise of China, blah, blah, blah. Good luck to them, fine. Coal, we've sold coal cheap to the rest of the world for years. Gas, we have about 20 years left. We've been going for about 20. There's only about 20 years left. So if your child is 10 years old now, obviously by the time they're 30, we're gone, we're out. It's a non-renewable resource, obviously. And once it's gone, it's gone. So the opportunity for Australia to recoup and bring money into this nation, if we don't do it the next few years, we'll be down to 15 years, 10 years left. Bearing in mind that these companies are making upwards of $20 billion a year in profit. So, how much money could Australia make? $70 billion. According to my research, $70 billion is a pretty good estimate. Maybe more, maybe less. About 70 billion. What can we buy for 70 billion? What would 70 bill pay for? Well, let's say no Australian would pay for the dentist ever again. Pensions paid. Education paid. Oh, by the way, let's make the gas cheaper and suddenly power bills down. Now, power bills is tricky. The whole solar, wind, it's tricky. So just speaking on an economic lens for the minute, money to the country, we're talking $70 billion a year just from the gas. And I think you'd agree that's a lot. So, a country like Norway takes 70 cents on the dollar. We take 10 cents. Oh, so the companies. You think, right, Woodside, Australian company, making lots of profit, we get lots of money. Shareholders of these companies. So, Chevron, mostly American owned. For every, let's say $100, for every $100 of profit made by Chevron, 70% of those profits go to offshore. 30% everywhere else, apart from America. Woodside, for every $100 of profit made by Chevron, by Woodside, how much stays in Australia? 30. $30 out of 100. In other words, 70% of Woodside's profits fly off elsewhere. America, Germany, the UK, all around the place. So even the Australian company making lots of money on the gas, only about 30% of it stays in Australia. Australian shareholders. And we know the shareholders like super funds, sure, great. Some individuals. So we do get some money, but it's pittance. I hope this all makes sense, but in the big picture, for every litre for every $100 of money made from the gas, the Australian nation keeps about $10 of the 100. Yeah, we pay twice as much for the gas as our customers. Chinese, a family in China or Japan, Korea, they're having a hot shower in the middle of winter. Whatever it costs, $5, $2, whatever it is. Same family in Australia is paying double. Now, I don't begrudge them that. Good luck to them, they've got a good deal. But it's the money that we as a country are losing because of the deal signed. Now, who signed the deal? This is not a political thing, but Johnny Howard and Costello back in the day. Now, look, everything's good in hindsight. There was no industry, there was no infrastructure, etc. So they had to get built, sure. But these companies have taken us for a ride, and someone needs to stand up and just go, look, you're having a laugh, fellas. We're renegotiating right now. And as I said, they'll kick and scream, but they know they're on a good wicket, and they'll pull every string, every advertisement, that the world's going to fall down. It needs to be done. So I guess if all of us can get onto, I don't know, put some pressure however you can to try and make this happen, I reckon our kids will thank us for it. $70 billion a year gone. 70 billion. So this is why everything's so expensive. We're struggling. We look for the specials at the supermarket. Like, Australians we're getting ripped off, and we know it. And got to change it. Anyway, I hope this has sort of maybe clarified the gas industry a little. Thank you. See ya.